lighthouses, yar.
Aye, Captain. Hark.
Have another of the kerosene.
Oh, jeez. Hark.
Hark, I demand the Triton that is there.
Aye, Captain.
Done.
I'm sad.
Have another sip.
Oh, jeez. It burns.
Well, that's the stuff you gave me, because that is the rum from the, I think, what was it, the Caymans or something you got me?
The Bahamas.
Yeah, Bahamas, and it's...
That's Bahaman rum?
Yeah,
Oh,
with
fuck.
ginger beer.
Wow. Yeah, pour more of that shit in there. Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Arr.
So...
Even though there's not supposed to be a pirate.
He's like kind of a
Kind of
pirate.
is, yeah, he kind of is. So, welcome everybody. This is Keep Stream Skip, and I'm feeling much better after going...
that Bahaman rum.
Oh, that too. It, probably... it definitely killed whatever was going on with me in the past 2 episodes. I thought it was a cold, but it probably was COVID, but I'm back.
Kerosene. Woo!
Don't be killing no seabirds.
Bad luck to kill a seabird.
Oh, yeah. Don't be putting your penis inside a mermaid.
You get crabs that way. This is fun.
Crepes.
All right.
Crepes.
I love how we haven't introduced the film at
Can
all.
anybody
We're
guess
just,
what it
yeah,
is?
Can you guess? So, Juliana's got the Halloween kickoff for the picks for this episode. It is September 21st, 2024. This is, again, Keep Stream Skip. My name is Nick with Samantha.
Yeah. And Juliana.
And she is going to be doing her picks first to kick off the Halloween season. We just got done watching The Lighthouse.
Aye. What is that?
I don't know.
Do that again? Was it a grr?
Arr.
Now it's more pronounced. Earlier it was
It's a New England. Arr.
So in the beginning, I took ginger beer and this high can't get any higher proof rum
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah.
Juliana got me a long time ago, and
I regret everything.
I kept on telling her, I was like, "You realize what you bought, right?" And I just didn't mess with it because she's like, "Oh, you should open it up. You should open it up." I'm like, "No, you don't understand."
Now
Like
we
this
understand.
is wake up and what did I do last night kind of rum.
This is, yeah, I got slapped in the face with just a sip. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Yarr.
Yarr. I'm about to be dancing with Willem Dafoe to the sea shanty in the midst of a storm. No, hey, get that shit away from me.
Come on, dance, sweetie. Dance, sweetie. Spill your beans.
Spill the beans. You shouldn't have spilled the beans.
Spill your beans. Oh, you shouldn't have spilled your beans.
You asked me
I didn't
to.
think you asked
You
me to.
told
Yeah,
me
right.
to. The
My God.
gaslighting.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
My God, what are you spilling the beans for?
So go ahead and take it away.
All right. So, The Lighthouse is a 2019 film, horror film. Wait, horror psychological
Psychological horror comedy.
Fantasy.
comedy for sure.
It's not a class that, but there's some.
There's somewhere that labeled it as fantasy.
Yeah. Well, there were some
Well, I
fantasy
guess, like-
elements for sure.
Mermaids and stuff.
I
Yeah,
know.
mermaids and the whatever the hell the tentacles were.
Kink unlocked.
Yeah. So, roll over.
Oh my god.
So keep on going so we get to the plot.
I'm so sorry. All right. Directed by Robert Eggers, who did The Witch, and is going to be directing the upcoming Nosferatu.
Did you write it too?
He did write it, yep. Along with Max Eggers, which I think is his brother. If I remember looking it up.
I want to know why they're writing it. Was like.
He's like, bro, I got a great idea. Bro. What? Okay, hold on. Side note, my therapist just messaged me. She can sense that there's something going on after
I'm
watching
sorry,
that.
guys. I'm celebrating my birthday weekend, so we've had like alcohol and watch this crazy film called The
Wild.
Lighthouse, and then while it's psychological horror to the max. It's art house.
It is.
And the fact that the therapist
My therapist just messaged me. I'm so curious. She's probably like, so I can feel your turmoil and confusion all the way here. We need to talk about what you just watched.
just respond with the Triton hark.
Hark. Hark. I curse ye. Shit, what the hell? Stop pushing that to me. Oh, man. Anywho, this film stars actors like Robert Pattinson, Willem Dafoe, if you didn't hear earlier. I also put, those are the two. Pretty much it.
Yeah,
And the seagull, which is named Maxwell, I guess.
Was it? Did it have a name?
I
don't know.
We're going to call him Max.
Max.
One-eyed Max.
One-eyed
The One-Eye
Max.
Max.
Oh, One-Eye Max. That's good.
IMAX?
Yeah, IMAX.
Ah.
One IMAX. Yeah, I thought that's what you were doing.
I had no clue.
Well, all right.
I think we got to the actors. What else?
Yes. Well, I also wrote down Valeria Karaman, who played the mermaid.
Oh,
Just so
okay.
you know.
2 scenes that she was in.
Right. And you can find this
Fish
on
sticks.
One Eye Max.
Oh, yeah, it's on Max. Yeah, it's streaming on Max. So, quick question.
For sure.
What was the budget?
11 million
I was gonna
was the
say,
budget.
It's probably just renting the actual lighthouse and
Yeah.
just sending those two with
I mean-
the camera crew.
Right. I'm sure
Yeah.
the budget went to those two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as much
So,
as, their salary.
budget was 11. They grossed 18.3 worldwide.
That's it?
Yeah, I remember because I went and watched this in theaters back in 2019.
Yeah.
And there was not a lot of people there. I don't remember it getting a lot of
I don't feel like it got a lot of press.
Yeah.
No,
to begin
yeah.
with.
They should have jacked up like the AC when you were watching it, so that way you felt like it's
so
cold.
you felt Nova Scotia cold while
Yeah.
you're watching it.
Well, like the whole time, I remember the fact that they had like the crab cages and the fact that it was really cold in the lighthouse. I'm like, Nova Scotia, because I always wanted to visit Nova Scotia because of that. That cold, blustery nor'easter
Good
rain.
luck, Sam.
I know. It's just like cold.
Have fun with
That whole thing where you're like wrapped up and you're just like miserable. It's bone chilling cold, and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, it looked really, really fun. Where the only light is from the lighthouse and it's being kept by an old.
So obviously,
They
Robert
won't allow
Pattinson
him
won
to use
a contest to be with William Dafoe, but they just didn't give him the rest of it.
Yeah.
So why don't you give
That
us?
was it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right. Should we get into the, I guess the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's get to the plot here, because
Yeah.
obviously that's not what happened.
No.
No.
Or is
Oh,
it?
You want to
Fun
talk about
fact.
spoiler?
So real quick, yeah, we do have spoilers. Thank you for that, because I needed to segue over to what we actually do if you've never heard us before. We're a keep, stream, skip. So basically, at the end, we're going to tell you whether or not you should keep it. That means buy it, whether it be digitally or physically. Although we always encourage you to buy a physical copy, that is Blu-ray or a 4K. But we also go over screenplay, direction, acting, cinematography, editing, special effects, and if we can remember, budget and gross, which thankfully, yes, we did.
We did.
And then we give you an overall score, and then we go around saying whether you keep, stream, or skip it, because you could have a high score, but you could
But you
say,
want us to skip it.
or you skip it, or stream it, or keep it. It could have a low score, but you still say, you know what, you may need to stream it or keep it. You can always reference our first episode for that, where we're like, yeah, man, you'll hear all sorts of callbacks to past episodes. So if you haven't heard their past episodes, please do check those out. And don't
Please
forget to like, subscribe, and share us. If you have just come upon us, or if you've been listening, please share us, and also sorts of things. We've been trying to figure out a way to promote our show a little bit more as we go along. You may have seen some promos on TikTok. So if you came to us from that,
Woo! Glad
welcome
to have
to yeah. You must have saw our
welcome to this.
Cool Cat.
Oh, jeez. Cool. They put Cool Cat on the freaking wall. Oh.
Heart!
No, shut it. I'm going to take an axe to his head.
That's bullying! Daddy, Derek, let's go ahead and remodel a house with that axe.
As I almost
hammer.
fucking hit the
He
desk.
almost fell out of the chair.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Yes.
Imagine Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe in Cool Cat.
Yeah.
Oh God, how many characters can we reference from either one?
Oh no. Oh my gosh. He's like, no, it's bad luck to kill a cool cat.
Don't kill the cat.
So we have Ephraim. Oh gosh, I forgot the last name already.
Winslow.
Yeah, Ephraim Winslow, which is actually not his real name. That is played by Robert Pattinson, who actually got drunk during his drunk scenes.
Yeah, for sure.
And poor William Dafoe, who did not.
Who did not? From what I hear.
Yeah, because I was like, didn't he get drunk, like one of them or both of them? And then we found out that it was just Robert Pattinson, as far as we know.
Yeah.
It was all of them.
Because like you could tell from the acting, it was not acting. He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
doing his lines. He's like,
Yeah.
fucking Kristen Stewart. Hey, guy, man, that's real.
Hey. You
Oh,
made your
sorry.
start there. Have some respect.
Let me have some more kerosene.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of interviews with him that are very funny. Stop.
Sorry, I'm staring at her. Like,
This is like
take
in the
the
very
shot.
beginning, when they first get to the lighthouse and Willem Dafoe is like, does his whole like amen speech
Yeah.
or whatever, and he's like, cheers, and he's like, Robert Pattinson's like, no.
let's talk about real quick the
no.
Wes Anderson shot. In the
Of them
beginning.
both
Yeah, just
staring into the camera like they're in front of the West or the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's phenomenal. It's a great. I mean, if you love cinematography, you're gonna love this.
Yeah, it was really done really well.
It's not
very
so-
beautiful.
Yeah, see, it's not so bad now.
Yeah, well, we put a lot of ginger beer in there now.
Yeah,
She keeps refilling it. Thank you, Sam.
get
Thank you.
the other bottle.
Godsend. No.
No.
Oh my god.
The other bottle of ginger beer.
This is going to be one of those episodes where the characters are slowly descending into madness, so must we.
Yes, exactly.
So must we, says I.
Keep going.
No. All right. So we I love how we open up to, these two men
right.
completely cold, abandoned lighthouse, and immediately we start to see that Robert Pattinson's character, Winslow, Jesus,
Quote
is
unquote Winslow.
quote unquote Winslow, is doing all the hard labor, right? He's
Right.
fucking working his ass off.
Yeah, the other guy is like slave driving him, and he's like, do this, do that, do this, do that. He's an older guy too, so maybe he's like, oh, well, I've been doing this a long time.
I feel like it's like when older folk are like, oh, those snowflakes have never worked a day in their lives, and
I gotta teach him how to.
gotta teach them, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, I'm busting my ass out here. I'm
It's the poor
doing
pool boy at the
job.
villages in Orlando.
But then later in his little log said he was pretty much a lazy sack of shit.
Right, in the log.
But then you have to
Oh.
really think, like when that happened though, then I was like starting to think, I was like, was he actually doing all those chores?
All those chores, or was he really not?
Was he really not?
I don't know. I have a feeling that he was, and that Willem Dafoe's character was just a huge gaslighter. He was just a huge gaslighter because he wanted the
100%
lighthouse
agree.
light to himself. So
Yep.
he couldn't have people doing a good job and taking
The
over.
warm light.
No. Hark.
Hark.
He wanted the light all to himself, right? And so he didn't want somebody taking over, so he couldn't have him doing a good job.
Yeah.
So he fucking gaslit him. Oh my god.
Gaslit me.
He gaslit
Because
you.
it made me start to think, like,
Is he doing
is he
his
doing
job?
it? Like,
Yeah.
is he?
And he's
just
working his
mad?
ass off the entire time,
Yeah.
like scrubbing the foghorn
Scrubbing the foghorn, like,
and then beating the shit out of the one-eyed bird.
oh my god.
Don't
Well,
kill the seagulls.
I really like the allusion to the fact that although he's quiet, he is a very violent dude, right?
Yeah.
With the, I mean, originally he just like, he stops, the seagull's like blocking his way, right? And he
Yeah.
throws that piece of coal at him. And that starts the whole, oh, well, it's bad luck. I see you beefing with the fucking bird.
Because the
Right.
seagulls know.
Yeah.
They're dead sailor souls that we find out.
Yes.
And they know what he really is, and that's a killer.
And it's a killer, which is ironic because
Both of them are
that
killers.
seagull was the one-eyed seagull that we're gonna find out, I guess, later what the fuck that means. But anyway, that was that bird is a little bit hypocritical, if I might add.
Oh, yeah, because he was killed by the other guy.
Yeah.
And instead
It
of
was like
torturing
this.
him,
Right.
they decided to torture Robert Pattinson, who's another
Right.
killer from another thing, because they
Right.
kind of allude to the fact he goes from job to job to job to job. He's kind of a vagabond.
He's a drifter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
He's running from something.
right. But even like Willem Dafoe's character up and said like that his last hand went mad, right? Like went
Yeah.
crazy.
He killed him.
I'm wondering if they're just purposefully sending shitty people to work for Willem Dafoe's characters. So that
Nobody
it
will work
drives
for him,
them
so we'll just send killers.
crazy.
Just drives him crazy.
And they keep on
Or,
getting
like
killed
that's
by
their
William Dafoe.
punishment is that they have to be driven mad by Willem Dafoe.
It's crazy though, because like so this whole time you're just watching him work in an abusive relationship until eventually he loses his fucking mind, and he's already kind of seeing it. So there's a mixture of things going on. Like it's Hitchcockian, it's H.P. Lovecraft, it's all sorts of different pulls, and it's so wonderfully shot that it's nearly a perfect film.
I would say perfect. I mean, even the beginning where he is like drifting out to sea to go look at Jesus. So threatening. Where he's like going out into the water where he first sees the dead body floating,
Yeah.
right? And I was trying to remember for the life of me what the hell a bunch of logs were just doing out there in the middle of the freaking ocean.
Well, he took the
and
bucket
then he
and
finds
threw it.
later
Well, you find out later that the guy
That
he killed
killed
the guy with
in the
logging.
logs with the logging job.
Yeah.
And that's why
Right.
there's a bunch of logs
That's
floating
why
in the
he was,
water.
like,
It's because that's his guilt slowly also driving him mad. Maybe Willem Dafoe is just a personification of his guilt.
Yeah, maybe he didn't exist at all.
Yeah. But anyhow,
Well, I thought it was rude when he like took his pipe away because he was mad at him. Like,
yeah, he
from a
like
single
snatched it.
Yeah.
Remember
right.
though?
It was a lighthearted comment too.
Yeah, he said. What was it that he said? That he was just like snatch. He was
Yeah.
like, "What the hell?"
I thought he was gonna fill
What
it
in the
for him. Like
world?
he was mad,
He
but he
was-
was still gonna do something for him. But
Willem
he's like,
Dafoe-
he's
Right. Willem Dafoe's character was very bipolar, very like flip on a
Yeah.
dime. Like you had to walk on eggshells around that man in order to not piss him off.
Well, and he had so many superstitions too, so it was
Right.
like hard to
Don't step on a crack or you'll break your mother's back.
Right. Which
don't leave somebody hanging with the what's it called? The cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Don't-
that's
yeah.
Don't be a dick.
The
It's basically
birds-
most of his stuff.
Yeah. Don't fuck with the birds, the seagulls. Which is actually, all of this is super interesting, the way that Willem Dafoe's character acts versus Robert Pattinson's, because they're supposed to be based on Greek mythological characters.
Poseidon is William Dafoe.
Actually, it's Proteus.
Proteus.
Who Homer calls the old man of the sea. So he is a sea god.
Okay.
But he's the old man of the sea, which makes sense because
he
he
is an
acts
old
like
man.
he acts like a god, like like a Greek god, especially where the smallest thing pisses him off, he's gonna fucking spite you for it.
Don't fucking talk about my
You liked my
Don't talk
lobster,
about my
didn't
turkey.
you?
He goes on a
Didn't
little
you?
2-minute rant
What
without
the
blinking,
fuck?
and
But-
he's, I curse you, hark, hark. All right, fine, dude, I like your cooking.
Yeah, and then he just cuts to the next scene. It's like, how is this not labeled as a comedy at 7 points? Come on now, guys.
And I'll be interested to see, do you guys think you know who Winslow is supposed to be? Because I got it, actually, when I first watched it, just because I was obsessed with this Greek mythological character.
I mean,
I'm not really too much
he's a
into
demigod for sure. But no, not at all.
No.
He's
Think of the
Odysseus?
last scene that we see. Where the birds...
He gave fire to the
Uh-huh.
people.
He stole fire
Yeah.
from the gods and gave it to humans.
He took the light
He
from the
took the
lighthouse.
light, right? So if you're not catching the drift and you're not good on
Atlas,
Greek
right?
mythology,
That's me.
Prometheus.
Prometheus. Oh my god, I should know that. I should know
Yes,
that.
and Prometheus is literally one of my favorite Greek mythological characters. So I remember seeing that and going, "Holy shit!" Because
I
he
don't know why I
was
kept on saying Atlas.
he was cursed in mythology to be chained to the side of a cliff and have an eagle eat his liver every single day, and it regenerated every night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why the bird was eating
The bird
his
was
lip?
eating-
Yeah.
It's Grecian marriage.
Yes.
I like that you said yes and then paused enough for it to work.
I love when we do that.
It's great.
But yeah, so I thought that's really cool. And looking at it through that lens kind of makes sense. Why a lot of the choices that they make.
So the only way to explain the plot is man goes to work for the first time, apparently from a forestry in Canada, to work in Nova Scotia with a Maine accent.
For 4 weeks.
For 4
For
weeks.
4 weeks, but it gets longer.
It gets longer
because he gets cursed.
Well, a nor'easter storm comes in, which is
right.
very normal for that area.
Yes, but it's also because he smacked the shit out of a seagull.
He was trying to play drums with a seagull. Okay. He didn't quite keep the beat. He's like, snare! Snare!
Had he kept a beat, he would have left.
Right. The gods would have been
Exactly.
happy. They would have
Yeah.
been like, okay, all right, hey, 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 hark, you stopped.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because he's like asking for Triton, which is like the weapon of Poseidon. He's like, Triton, come to me. I'm like, wait, don't you mean?
Well, what's funny is I caught it at the very end. There's
Very Shakespearean, by the way.
very Shakespearean,
Yeah.
very demure.
Very
Fuck
cutesy.
demure. We're gonna go Shakespearean. Hey, I love your look, Shakespearean.
So as Willem Dafoe is being buried alive in
Very
the final
iambic
scene at the very
pentameter.
end, he in his like speech that he's saying that
Yeah,
keeps
that's
getting
right.
interrupted by dirt, he
As
says
he's
what
eating it. He's eating
right,
the
he's
dirt.
eating
It's
the
weird.
dirt. He's legit eating it.
Yeah.
What
Luckily it was Oreo
protean
cookies.
forms swim up from men's minds and melt in hot Promethean plunder? And so both of those characters were mentioned in his final speech, which I was like, oh my God, I have to write this down.
You know what? It's so highbrow that the masturbation makes sense.
Yeah, which one?
I love
The
this.
angry
Yeah.
one?
There was like a couple of them.
Yeah, if you thought Robert Pattinson was attractive, wait until you see The Lighthouse, because man, oh man,
God.
you're gonna get some raw Robert.
Raw Robert. Robert. It was a wild time. Honestly, the entire movie is just his descent into madness, him being gaslit
It's
over
when,
and over.
It's when you see him in Twilight, but you don't see him with Bella, and this is what's going
Yeah.
on.
His love-hate relationship.
Yeah,
with-
he's just violently
Willem
masturbating to a figurine.
Yeah.
of Bella.
That's a mermaid.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the mermaid,
that's a
with the shark
topless
labia.
mermaid.
My little spider monkey.
No! This is the skin of a killer!
No.
Which is so funny. He really did try to get away from those movies, but it'll haunt him forever.
No, yeah, well, but that's okay. We love him in Batman. We love him in.
We love him in this.
Yeah.
This is great.
So the foghorn, the digital
Wild.
foghorn was cool. It matched the music, and I thought it was just the music until it wasn't, and it was like actually hurting his brain, like he was succumbing to the madness while he was there.
Like a siren call.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mermaid farts.
Yeah. What?
The sea bubbles today.
The fact that Willem Dafoe was actually farting throughout the entire movie as well. So it's funny that you bring that up and then it's like a comedy kind of almost because the director, so I found a thing about that because I looked it up. I was like, what the hell is that about? And he said, I wanted to explore misery and I wanted to be able to laugh at misery because it's funny.
Oh man.
Which is why he added so many fart jokes and like
Oh,
off
man.
off the start. Like
It'd be like Hostel having fart jokes, like the person's getting their eye burned out, and all of a sudden it's like, sorry, it's so painful, I couldn't hold it. Like this is like that kind of weird interruption, and I gotta tell you, I took off points for that. I was like,
for real?
it pulled me away. I was like,
Oh,
no.
I thought it was
once or twice, but the entire film.
I thought it was great that it was consistent, and I thought it was like a slight,
Yeah.
like honestly, driving him. It added to the driving him mad, where he was like the thoughts. The
Edgar Allan Poe,
thoughts."
the farts.
Well, when he's like about to murder Willem Dafoe, and then he like gets caught, and he's like, "Oh my god!" and Willem Dafoe just turns over and then farts. Oh, what a
man.
perfect slight! Like, oh, you should have done it. And then he wouldn't
You
have to
should
deal
get
with it.
some winks before the sun comes up.
Well, and also highlights the fact that they are in close quarters, and somebody doing that.
Oh,
and
the
just
piss
pissing
pots
you
and
off.
everything?
Yeah. I wonder if this film, honestly, so it came out, 2019? It was really predicting what a lot of couples were about to go through during the pandemic to come.
Just piss pots and farting in front of each
farting
other.
in front of each other. And dancing around the kitchen one second and then
Because
fist
they were
fighting the
drunk.
next.
Yeah, I love that. They just started randomly fist fighting because why not?
Yeah.
I need to feel something.
What's the bipolarness of?
Yeah. And then back and Willem Dafoe's laying in his lap.
Oh,
Don't
man.
spill the beans, son.
Bridesmaids Part 2.
All right, so let's
Pretty
get to the screenplay.
All right, let's
Screenplay.
start ranking this thing. What did you give it?
I gave it a 10
10?
because it's very unique and original,
It is, but
and there wasn't really any plot holes that I could find.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. I gave it a 7 for accessibility issues.
Because you can't understand what they're saying?
No. It's just the fact that the deep background knowledge you had to find just to bring it together, and the symbolism and everything else was so deep cut that it makes it almost inaccessible. It's almost like the way you looked at Dungeons and Dragons. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, hey, I understand kind of what's going on. Then of course you filled in the gaps. But between that and the farts where there was so much, like it was already established he does that, but
they
they
were
kept
scripted.
doing it.
Like, I really didn't get a lot of the symbolism, but I still thought it was a great movie. And I mean, yeah, I guess the farts were a little much.
The scripted farts. I'm sorry, his ability to fart on command is pretty impressive. But no, I gave it a 10. I thought it was I mean, I also knew a lot about Greek mythology going into it, so I kind of got the connection to Prometheus and whatnot. But I mean, even without that, the kind of just the slow descent into madness while also revealing like the multiple layers. They're both murderers. They're, sequestered on this place, on this island.
Yeah, that's why even though, like I said before, I didn't get a lot of the symbolism, but I got that he was slowly going into madness, and what does that look like, and what does that, and somebody mentioned that when he was going deeper into madness, the lighthouse started falling apart quicker, and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Storm blows over. As soon as he killed the gull, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as he killed it, because when he started fucking with the gull, stuff kind of got a little weird.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
he killed the gull, and it was like, oh,
And then the gull started coming to the bedroom window.
yeah.
Rap,
the gull was like,
tapping
hey,
on my door.
hey.
It was like
okay.
Edgar Allan, like I said, it was like Edgar Allan Poe. It was H.P. Lovecraft with the tentacles and the sea and the I guess squid or octopus, what have you. Those monsters, and then the mermaid. It was so very just interesting.
Very interesting. I loved it.
So, direction.
I gave it a 10 because,
10.
there was a lot.
They're just
Robert Eggers,
wow,
amazing.
Robert Eggers. And he really,
Right.
and the choices that he made, like, I think I told you guys earlier, the choices that he made to make sure that both Pattinson and Defoe were like, okay, we're going to stop and you're going to do that same accent, but we're going to do it 75% slower. Or like, he was very meticulous. And I think it really shows in the delivery of the lines and like
in the final
the
product.
shots and everything.
Oh yeah,
did a great
everything is
job.
really, really good. The actors did great. He let Robert Pattinson get drunk.
Yes, which is so freaking funny because I think there was a moment where when Defoe's laying on him, right, and he's like gagging a little bit. Apparently, Pattinson learned later that Defoe literally told Eggers, "I will, if he throws up on me, I will walk off this set."
No.
Yeah.
They're like, okay,
Which
no
is
more for
so
you.
funny. Right.
I mean, I guess if you didn't know the other actor, you never hung out with him, you never acted with him, then yeah, I would be like, what the hell?
I don't think I'd want anybody to throw up on me.
Yeah,
in general.
Well, I mean, if we
And I
were
would walk
acting
out.
together and you're like, look, I'm going to go method, I'm going to get drunk on this thing, I'd be like, this is going to be hilarious. Let's do it.
Right.
If it was you or I. But you, Samantha, though,
I'd be worried that you get too method and start stabbing us for real.
You'd be the one chick in one cut of the day.
Yes, that's exactly right. Because when you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, actually, I get that 100%.
That's so funny. Pump.
Just sitting there putting her to sleep.
Shh, go to sleep.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. To both of you.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So we all agree directions was impeccable. Acting.
Wonderful.
Acting 10.
10.
10 out of 10. Although I don't ever agree with really going method, but it's fun to go that kind of method.
But
It is. I mean, that is.
And it really depends on the situation too.
Right.
And obviously the director knew that he could handle being method while still being in character.
It's like drunk
Right.
history.
Because if he didn't, then I'm sure he would have been like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. But I mean, the
Susie
fact
throws
that,
up on William Dafoe. Oh,
Right.
Shit.
Shit, sorry. The fact that he was able to keep that accent up while being plastered on set and continue going. The fact that both of them worked so well with each other despite not talking to each other off set. Like, not because they didn't like each other at all, but the weather really put them in damper moods. And then apparently...
Which I get.
I would have loved that, though. The cold, wet, damp. I'd be like, I'm in the mood. I'm ready for this. Let's do it. Let's get drunk.
But if you think about it, though, like you're spending the whole day acting, you're freezing cold. All you want to do is do what? Go back to your hotel room or wherever you're staying and take a hot shower and go to bed.
And what's funny about that actually is that Robert Pattinson was the only one to go back to location with the rest of the set. Oh my God. Hark. Hold that thought. Hold on.
Shots.
Oh my God. Oh, it burns. Robert Pattinson was the one to go back to a hotel setting with the set. Oh my God, it burns.
I'm going to make it to where you can't do the second film. This is going to be
this is going to be horrible. Oh, we're going to get to the second film. I'm going to be like, okay. I'm going to be Robert Pattinson clapping my hands.
I'm just going to just let her be in the guest room and be like, just let her be.
Let her be. But Willem Dafoe actually stayed in that house that's right next to the lighthouse. He stayed out there by himself. And then it was opposite when they did lunches. Robert would eat by himself, whereas Willem Dafoe would eat with the cast. So it is very interesting that they never really talked to each other. They didn't hang out with each other. They had separate isolation moments. But then when they came together, I think that really showed their clashing whatever moment.
So
the
weird.
ability
Robert went full method.
Right.
Wow.
Which is scary. I mean...
Yeah, he got no wonder. If I was William Dafoe, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, "Look, this guy is fucking weird. He's not just going method; he's going method.
Right?
He's going method, man.
Which is so funny.
He's like, listen to Method Man.
Cinematography, I
10.
give it
10.
Hard 10 on that.
Such a 10.
Amazing. And they did a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is weird. I mean, 16:9 has been kind of the thing, or what theaters are usually there, and then they Blu-ray 16:9. But they went 4:3, and I know there's been a little bit of an uptick in that.
It's just full screen, right? Not widescreen.
Well, it's the standard screens, the full screen when there were still CRTs, those old televisions that she barely probably remembers.
Have I drank too much of that? What nonsense words are you saying?
The big fat.
No, the reason why, because he was throwing all these numbers out, and some people are just like me, who I'm like, do you mean
Fat TVs versus flat screen wide?
Wide.
Right.
Yeah.
Wide.
Well, and it was also this entire
all black and white.
Yes, it was shot with a double X stock black and white, which, fun fact, requires more light. So any shots that they did indoors or at nighttime had 15 to 20 times more light on set in order to see something.
So you're drunk and blind.
And blind, right. So that moment with him in the lighthouse, he probably was able to see so nicely because that was just what they were used to at that point.
Hey, we got a lighthouse, man. Can you get up there?
But I'm also guessing they used a lot of the tips and tricks from back in the day when everything was shot in black and white.
Oh yeah. Hitchcockian stuff.
Make sure that
Yeah.
everybody had like dark hair or whatever.
Yeah, especially when you see things like the ocean was supposed to be at night when they were showing it really raging, and then it's like, no, that was during the day. You just darkened it like crazy for the coloration. I mean, that was pretty obvious. That was straight up in the day. But that's okay because it still worked. It was very well shot. I love the mermaid underwater scene. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So 10 out of 10 for cinematography. And I'll even like slide over to editing as well. I feel like all of that was
absolutely
done so well.
Absolutely.
Right. Whichever way that they edited it was like made it flow that much better.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. There's not one thing wrong, editing or cinematography. Everything was great.
Yeah.
The pan shot in the lighthouse house where it went from right to left when they first got in, and it was this big area of a wall where you see black, and then you get back to the other room. It's great. It's fantastic.
Right. Yeah, that was so good.
Special effects.
Was there special effects?
Yeah.
No,
You
just
got the
kidding.
head, you got
Hold on.
the lightning, the head.
I said 10 out of 10. I feel like anything that they did that seemed a little old or like whatever was done on purpose. I feel like some of it was done to maybe look that way on purpose because of the
Really? You thought it was old?
No, well, no, like I don't know, it seemed like an old-timey
Time
film kind of.
period.
Yeah, like I don't know, some of it seemed that way.
I mean, it was basically tentacles with a ton of KY jelly. That's classic. That's where you get that slimy look.
Yeah.
It's really, I think they did a great job. It was all, looked like most of it was practical effects.
Yeah.
Very little in the
With like the mermaid and
Yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 10 too. And it's funny because like now that I'm recalling the movie, I have to keep on reminding myself that it was in black and white because in my mind wants to put color to things.
Colorize it.
Yeah. Overall,
10.
I gave it 9.5 only for that little ding on the screenplay because of accessibility. But overall, do you say keep, stream, or skip?
Keep it.
I'll keep it.
So I keep it, but I'm going to say for most people, it's going to be a stream. It's going to be a stream because I don't think a lot of people would be like, yeah, I want to keep this as something I want to watch over and over again.
I mean, if you like movies that want you to be just
Get high,
send
too.
you into madness, or maybe that you're having
Get
like
drunk.
a really shitty day and you just need that maddening movie where it just
Bahama
like
rum.
brings you down.
Oh, yeah. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. No, hell
Finish
no.
it.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding? You
Oh.
want me to method act freaking throwing up all over your desk?
Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
Ew. I'm walking out of here.
Ooh, I got chills.
I'm walking out of here if you throw up.
Ginger beer and 151. So the rum we're drinking, just a little FYI, because since we're done here, is Gun K Bohemian Age Rum, 151 clear. It is 75.5% alcohol by volume.
I'm going to let you know now, when I was in college, I drank absinthe, a couple shots of absinthe that were, I think, 130 proof. And I had like a little competition with one of my guy friends at the time. And both him and I, after I think 3 shots, were on the floor. We were floored. Anyway, and I was like, I'm done. But
I'm going to tell you my...
so I'm just warning you now.
my tequila story. I'll tell you this after we jump off. So when we come back, we're going to do another A24 film for this Halloween kickoff. It's going to be Talk to Me. And it will be streaming on some other service, but we'll figure it out. You stay tuned and take care.
Peace.
And we're back.
Woo!
Talk to me.
Talk
to me.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is like, it all starts with a good firm handshake.
Nobody knows how to do that anymore. I have to say, when I was in high school, I did a speech and debate, and I would always like give the judges a nice firm handshake, and I feel like that put me ahead. There was this one judge though, this like older lady that I went to go, and she gave me the princess hand, and I was like, what the fuck do I do with that?
I gotta admit, it's weird when a guy does that, where he's like just this limp
Weak
handshake.
little.
Yeah,
I'm like, ugh.
She wanted you to kiss
I would.
it.
Yeah, it's like, please just
For real. I was like, whoa.
fist bump. Just switch it to a fist bump, please.
Yeah, like something else, because I don't know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
Nothing worse than that.
So take it away.
All right. So our second film, Talk to Me, came out in 2022. Also a horror film. Written by Danny, and I don't know how to say their last name. Philippou. Bill Heinzman and Daley Pearson, and directed by Danny and Michael Philippou, which are their brothers as well. So we have like 2 movies directed by brothers.
Did you do that on purpose?
Or written by brothers. I don't know, something like
A24 did.
Yeah, A24 loves brothers, don't they?
We have 1 director. We won't take it. We have 3 directors. We'll take it.
Wait.
Yes.
Are they brothers?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Are
No,
they
they're
related?
sisters. No, I don't know.
I guess.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Just kidding.
Allegedly, they
Random
did that.
allegedly.
Is Dan Savage in the room? Did he make you say that?
Allegedly.
Some of the actors in it are Sophie Wilde, who played Mia, Joe Bird, who played Riley, and Alexandra Jensen, who played Jade. I would have gone with the first 3 they listed on IMDb, but they were like
Victim number 1.
nobody. I was like, who is this? And you can find it streaming on Paramount Plus.
That's ParamountPlus.com. No, it's kidding. No, actually, I might be. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. So, what is the plot of Talk to Me for those who slept on it in 2022?
Yeah, who slept
Samantha
on it?
and I.
The plot. I mean, I feel like it's kind of got that typical horror trope of teenagers find object, fuck around, and find out.
Right.
It's a monkey's paw, but a human hand.
But a
made of,
human
like,
hand.
like ceramic hand, I guess, or wooden hand. Well,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
think
if
it's
wood-
ceramic.
Ceramic.
Yeah, I think they mentioned even that it was a ceramic hand.
It had all these signatures on it. Like I did it,
Right, and then somewhere
It was
in
like the
different
bang
languages
bus.
and stuff. It looked like that thing that you would, like a random thing you would pass around at the end of the school year to get signed by all of your
yeah,
friends.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
That's the vibe I
I was
got
way
from
dirty.
it. Yeah,
I
I
was
was
way dirtier. I was like, I just mentioned like, it kind of looks like the bang bus thing where, I did it.
What?
Okay.
We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I'm so innocent.
Lies.
Anywho, so
So it starts off with a party sequence going on, and
well, it actually starts off before that, right? With oh, it starts
With
off with
the
the
party.
brother. Yes, no,
Yeah,
you're right. It starts
that-
off with the party.
that party sequence,
I was
but with the
incorrect.
brothers, not with anybody else.
Right. So 2 people that we don't get introduced to or figure out who it is.
You got it wrong, and you totally said like it's your film, and you messed up the
I-
beginning plot.
Totally did. So I guess I need to.
The ginger shot.
Don't
That's-
take it all.
Well, no shit.
Shot.
I was not gonna take.
She
it.
just sleeps in the hammock with the bone guy. In there.
All
We
right.
have the hammock chair with the half skeleton in it because it is Halloween, and she took just a sip.
Motherfucker. Woo! Talk to me. Woo! I feel like throwing my head back like they do.
Did you have your kerosene?
Yeah, am I right? That was something different.
Probably because it's warmer.
All right.
All right, so it opens with a party with 2 brothers.
Tastes like excitement.
Yeah.
that you really don't know anything really about, and we don't even learn anything about them until like
Halfway through the movie? Later
More than
on?
halfway.
More than halfway?
almost to the end, and we still really don't know
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah,
'Cause
much. I feel like we don't need to, which is
Yeah.
nice. But like
Right.
it does establish what happens when you
Fuck around and find out.
fuck around and find out, which is that you stab your brother and then stab yourself in the head. You missed that part, I think.
Did you?
Stab yourself in the head.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, I
happened
think
in
you
the
were
opening
like on
sequence.
your phone at that moment. He literally jabbed it into the middle of his
Oh.
head.
Yeah, he like stabbed his brother in the like.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was a good sound. Do that again. Yeah. He did that, exactly.
So then, of course, it opens to another party.
Steven, can you do that again for us?
Yes!
Steven, yes. The scariest sound in all of New York City.
City.
Yeah, that's a Toast of London reference. Go check out that series.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
All right, so then you have like the title sequence and whatnot, and then you have like
It's a good
another party, and this is the party where you start learning about the main characters.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have Mia.
Are
Mia.
Teenagers.
very one-dimensional, selfish, self-absorbed.
Teenagers. Very typical. I mean, it makes sense. They are teens.
They're like filming everything.
Right.
From
And I mean, we
you just
get
got
to
possessed.
see.
Shits and giggles. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
Like they're not freaking out at all by possession. That's
Right?
That's really weird.
That was very.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for that one girl, like the sister, I can't remember her name.
Jade.
Jade.
Yeah.
She was like, if you noticed her at all, like on the couch, like, and through that whole thing, she's just like sitting there, like, kind of disgusted by the whole thing.
Yeah.
But not doing anything
I feel
about
like
it.
it
but,
makes
you know.
sense for Gen Z. They're such an unbothered generation. Like they
Getting
make
high
fun of
off the
anything.
dead spirits.
The amount of like 9/11 jokes I saw on 9/11 is wild on TikTok. And you know who did that? Gen Z. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm not looking to get canceled,
Right.
so I'm not even touching that.
No, but no, that's what I'm saying though. It's wild to me that somebody would touch that subject, and I'm like, whoa, what are they on? And they don't care. But yeah, so something like possession, being like, oh, that's so funny, let's record it. I'm like, that might be something that they
Right. So then we find
do.
out what this talk to me whole thing, how you get possessed by this thing. And it's a hand, the ceramic hand.
Mm-hmm.
But first you have to light a candle.
Yes, you have to light
Not
a
that
candle.
kind of
Stop. Giving himself a hand over here.
Well, look at, well, I mean, the way it's like just held out, it doesn't look like a handshake. It looks like, it's going to hold a cucumber.
Right. Well, they made that motion during the montage. Did you see him do that?
No.
Yeah, he like used it like that when they were doing the whole, because like using it as a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, I saw. Okay, yeah.
And then they did that with it, and they were fucking around.
I saw the cigarette part. I must have missed the other one.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know.
I don't know. That was a great montage.
I mean, it's
though.
quick.
Right.
Anyhow,
So you light the candle.
you light the candle.
You have to hold the hand.
Kink unlocked.
What?
Kink unlocked. Stop. We already unlocked one with the walk-in
Willem Dafoe
Willem
was like
Dafoe like a dog.
Just him like laying lifeless, going woof.
Oh my god.
How is that not a comedy? I still don't know.
It's so good.
Anyways, Lighthouse, check it out.
I'm still obsessed.
So when they hold the hand, all of a sudden the spirit appears out of like
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to say like spirit find me or whatever. It's just the lighting of the candle, the holding of the hand.
1, 2, 3, Scooby Doo.
Mm.
Daphne.
And then it's like, talk to me.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
say
and
talk to me, and then
they
he show up. Yeah,
They show up, and then
Yeah.
you have to say, I let you in. And then they...
you have to see. That's what makes it Gen Z. Is a very big emphasis on consent.
Yeah.
Ah,
yes!
there
They
you
are
go.
big on that, as they should.
Yeah. Well, I just realized that. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wow. Yes. Very... that and the fact that everyone whips out their phones for everything. I
Right.
found that so fucking funny because
Yeah.
that's so true. Anything that happens, the phone is out.
You know what made them like really base though is the fact that they had the fucking light on. Like just like their grandmother, like the light's gotta be on in this thing so I could see. It's like, no, you don't.
Right.
It'll adjust. Stop.
Yeah, that was interesting. They're like, let me turn the flash on for this.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
But then when you look at the actor, there's like no white light of any
no
source
flash.
there.
No
Yeah.
flash. Yeah.
Ding ding. Gonna hit that for points, but
So, okay. So previous to that, we find out that Mia loses her mom
Right.
due to suicide, supposedly.
Right.
And
Definitely. allegedly.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because it kind of goes back and forth. You never were told if it's true or not.
I'm pretty sure that it is, and the ghosts were fucking with her.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I kind of figured that out at the end when okay, we'll get to the end. Anyway, so she's already at a loss. She's trying to, like have this thrill, and instead of like, drugs like a regular teenager, when she let the spirit in, she's like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever.
That was a rush of endorphins, and
this is the best thing ever. Like,
what was the point of the kangaroo?
It's a parallel to what happens at the end
to show
that she couldn't do it. She couldn't bring herself to kill the kangaroo, and she couldn't bring herself to kill
no
Riley.
matter if he was suffering or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, because I was like, where was the tie-in for that?
Yeah. Because remember, like in the hospital, she sees the kangaroo again.
Oh,
when she's making that decision.
I missed a lot.
Wow, what were you doing?
Well, to be honest, that scene was kind of like there and gone.
Oh, okay.
So
he was in the. Did you see him in the reflection too before he was in the hallway? And then you hear the kangaroo noises like her. Get out of here, seagull. Smack, smack, smack.
Just in the reflection of the mirror, they're like watching it, and they say just Robert Pattinson smack seagull.
Like you would one of those rubber chickens. Just
oh my God,
whack.
yeah.
All right.
Oh shoot.
So then the spirits what really kind of freaked me out was when she was possessed by the spirit and she looks at the boy Riley and she's like, we like you. We really like you.
Oh yeah. Well, because he's so pure. He's like the child of the group, right? He's never done anything wrong.
Right.
So he's like the purest one.
Oh yeah,
of all
because
of
like
them.
even before he's like, no man, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette.
Right. So he is like of the entire group that was at that party, he was like the one that they would.
Oh, he's like
of course
the
love to
youngest
see her
too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the actual actor is only 17 as of today.
Oh, whoa.
He was born in 2007.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, he's super young.
Yeah, he's just baby. So
And they beat the hell out of him.
yeah, they beat the shit out of him. That fucking scene when they take it too far.
Right.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't stop beating himself up. It's like, dude, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Stop victim blaming.
And he just kept on doing it, and they're like, stop hitting yourself, and he just wouldn't.
He just wouldn't. Yeah. He said, bet.
I do what I want.
I'm going to do what I want. What
I
I
do
want.
what I
I'm going to even take
fucking
out my
want.
eye.
Don't tell me.
bullying people.
Oh, cool cat? Here. Smash your fucking head on this, please. Rip your eyeball out.
Imagine Cool Cat during that scene.
Oh my God, imagine talk to me and Cool Cat appears on the other side. No!
Daddy Derek with his commas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just sitting there.
Gosh.
So, I mean, the plot's fairly simple. It's like you got this magic monkey paws hand, except you're not making wishes. They're just kind of, in a way, getting high to your theme point on getting possessed and then ducking out before it becomes a serious issue. And they're like, yeah, it's 90 seconds. It's 90 seconds. But they find out that time limit doesn't mean shit because they just... That girl's little brother just totally gets annihilated.
Right.
And that's where all the shenanigans happen and where they didn't blow out the candle to close the door and all this stuff happens. And Mia is trying to figure it out.
I think
and then
she also let her guard down when she thought it was her mom inside of him.
Yeah. Which was a manipulation tactic on the ghost part.
Yeah. And it could be a dual layer of things like the drug thing, which seems such an old cliched method of like satire. But I see where you're talking about because it kind of acted like when they got out of it, they're all like giggly,
high, right? Like it's that euphoria,
that
and then it dragging them back in, especially with your more vulnerable population like Mia, who just lost somebody, who's depressed, obviously doesn't fit in with other people, and is willing to. I got
caught up in the lies, and I was just like, losing yourself, not knowing what's up or down, and falling in the traps of misinformation in the World Wide Web. But at the same token, I'm like, you can't ignore the points you brought up with the drug kind of parallels.
Right. And when her mom committed suicide, she wanted so much to talk to her mom that she couldn't see past beyond that.
She did more of the drug, which is the hand.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which is horrible because, you know, looking from everybody else's perspective, they were rightfully pissed off at her and, you know, furious with her for making the choices that she did. However, it is easy to see from her perspective how to get sucked into it and how to fall prey to the paranoia, to the wanting to just escape, see her mom who, you know, deny the reality that her mom actually did kill herself and not, you know.
Right, because I mean, at one point, like, when the spirit of her mom was, like, you know, loose in the house or whatever, and she's like, oh, I didn't kill myself, you know, like, you really wanted to like, I believed that, like, right away, and I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, why did I believe that right away? I was like, because I really wanted that to be true. I wanted
it to be
somebody
true for her.
else to hurt her mom instead of her mom hurting herself.
Right, and leaving Mia. And, like, it's rough because she has to come to that, well, she doesn't really come to that realization or that acceptance that her mom killed herself and left her.
Right. She ends up killing her dad.
Right.
Accidentally, yeah.
Which I don't know if she actually does kill her dad.
No,
I can't tell if
They
the
show him
ending.
alive.
Right, but there's like some speculation online that when he was walking into the elevator, that it was actually like he was dead, but he was going to heaven. So like he was still dead, but he couldn't.
I always feel like that's a
Crossover
stretch
with her.
because the thing is, usually when they show that a person is still alive, discovered by another person, that's an indicator to say that they're still alive. And he's going through the hospital, the elevator, probably to see her body. Because as she's being transported and went from the place where she died, then all of a sudden the hospital where her dad's coming through, and then all of a sudden another location, which is where another person has the talk to me hand.
You know what's really horrible is, you know, at the very end when she's in the hospital, she's dead and she's going through all the whatever.
Yeah.
And she's calling after the Riley and them and they're leaving and then the lights turn off and she turns and she looks at herself in the mirror and she can't see anything.
Right.
Which is the nightmare she talked about to Riley at the beginning of the film.
Oh, snap.
When he went and slept with her.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I have nightmares, and described a reoccurring nightmare where she looks in the mirror and she doesn't see anything.
She doesn't see herself.
So I felt like there was a lot of parallels throughout, or just like callbacks to certain things. Like every time the mom showed up, you could hear the gurgling water from the first that she
spirit
that she let in.
Bloated and,
Right.
Yeah.
That she let in for too long.
And you know what's interesting in Beetlejuice? Also, the couple doesn't see themselves in the mirror.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
She gets a horse and she's like, look. And then there's nothing on there but the
Oh,
horse.
But the
that's
horse
right.
and-
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
What's up with the mirrors? I don't know.
Vampires.
But do you want to know how much this movie made?
Yeah.
So the budget was $4.5 million.
Wow, that's indie cheap.
Yeah. Well, because some of the shots that they did, like the montage, took an hour. One shot, like an hour, to get it all done. They grossed $92.2 million worldwide.
Resounding success.
Crazy.
I mean, they didn't have one major star in it, from what I understand.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I don't know Australian stars, I guess, but yeah. Well, the two directors, this is their directorial debut.
It's not Hugh Jackman. That's Australian.
No, that's true. That's true. But they started off as they were YouTubers before this film.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And they were actually picked to do a DC EU film, and they turned that down so that this one could be their directorial debut.
Wow, that wouldn't have not done that.
Right. Well, it was a gamble, but hell, it paid off.
Yeah.
$92 million after only spending $4.5 million.
I mean, especially like if it's your directorial debut and you wrote it too.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that's all yours, pretty much.
Yeah.
This is why A24 makes these films. They're like, it'll hit.
Mm-hmm.
So for every like Lighthouse that's like, oh, it was modest, you get these like talk to me's.
You get talk to me where it's like, well, shit.
Like Scrooge McDuck diving into money.
Yeah. So.
All right. So for the plot, which, I mean, it's very straightforward, you know.
Yeah. I actually gave it an 8 because of that. I feel like it wasn't super, like, it picked from the typical trope of a horror film.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something like Midsummer where I'm like, whoa, this is new. This is something special.
Yeah.
And I felt like there were also some interesting plot holes. Like, where the fuck was her dad the entire movie besides those few moments of
just calling her?
Right. I was like, if that were my child, I'm sorry.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Yeah.
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 Even when she was home, he was
I
not
gave it
there.
a 7 because of some plot holes too, and then because again, it's not. I mean, it was creative because it was with the hand, but it was same
Yeah.
shit. And plus the like. Well, that's more of an actor thing. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm with 7 on the screenplay as well with plot. I mean, it was fine. It just, you know, between the plot holes and the kind of just straightforward nature of it, it was like, all right, it was good. But, you know,
You know, yeah.
it's not, like you said, Midsummer where you're like, wow, this is insane.
Right.
Even though Midsummer was kind of, I mean, I don't know if it was, but it seems it was inspired by Wicker Man and other folksy horror, but still.
Right.
It
But
was
still,
done so expertly.
inspiration versus literally like the outline of every horror film ever.
Yeah.
Of, you know.
Right.
I think I only bumped it up to 8 because I think I originally had it at 7, but I don't know. I think the first time I watched it, I cried so hard at the storyline, like finding out that her mom, like the suicide note and everything. I don't know. It just hit. It was really sad to me. So I bumped it up because
I was still in the disbelief that she didn't kill herself. So when they wrote the suicide note, I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was a dad just faking a suicide.
Jeez.
Spill your beans.
Spill the beans. Why?
Direction.
I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 9.
I honestly thought direction was fine. It was 10. I didn't see anything wrong with it. The actors did a really good job being directed. I felt. I didn't see anything.
I feel like it could have went a little farther as far as direction because everything I just felt was so basic.
Yeah, a lot of it was. I just thought it was really, really well done for basic. I guess that's where I'm getting at.
That's what I felt like too. Like they did a really great job. I think I docked it down 1 because it was just, again, I don't know if they took any like risks, but it was still good. Like it was, I thought it was very well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a 9. What about acting?
I gave it a 9. I mean, most of the acting was done spot on. Everything seemed like they were actually in peril or something was in peril. Some acted better than others, but there's other times where it just felt like ham-handed, like they really wanted to, during the party scenes where they're like, oh shit, and it's like, okay. Seriously, I feel like that was a little bit too over the top to emphasize the detachment of what they were doing.
Oh, really?
I don't think people would be so detached where it's like, hey, this person is bending and contorting on front. Like, I think they'd be in their phone still locked in because this disassociation looking through a screen. But beyond that, I don't think they'd be like, oh, snap, look at that. I'd be like, no, shit, this thing is real. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was too much detachment.
Interesting. I rated it a 10 because I think I have to disagree. I think they're a wild bunch that is coming up, and I really think they're so desensitized to everything that it's just like a point and laugh situation with a lot of stuff nowadays. And it's like, well, they don't care. I really don't think they do.
I gave it an 8 because I just needed more.
8, 9, 10.
I just need more.
Interesting.
I just need more.
Gosh. What more do you want? He smashed his head. His little head.
He was like, well, that's the thing is like for every really well expert thing, there was somebody that was not the main character that was used as
Right.
like a co-starring character that just didn't quite
Add up.
Yeah.
Like the guy with the hand that was in possession of the hand the second time, like bringing it to the party and stuff. I just felt he was so one-dimensional. He could have just had a little more added to him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I give it a 10 mainly for the mom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
She
the thing.
was
It's like the
amazing.
mom was good,
Like-
the dad was good,
Yeah.
Mia was good.
Jade, I
I
thought
loved,
Jade
just
was
the-
I
good.
loved the
co-stars.
mother's lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mom's line. I love her trying to snoop because she was so spot on though. Like, granted, it wasn't a party, but she knew her kid was up to something.
Yeah.
So,
we gonna
like, she
sneak
was
out?
sneaky about it. The kids must have prepped the guests, being like, she's going to ask. Just so you know.
Cinematography.
My daughter's vagina is closed.
My daughter's vagina is off
There's some good
limits.
lines in there. There's good writing for some of the lines.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
I gave it a 10. I liked the shots. I thought the shots themselves were unique. Like every time they went backwards, doing the like flip with it, and like the pans back and forth when they're talking. Like I thought it was really cool. I liked it.
I gave it a 9 because, you know, like when they were getting possessed, they like shifted it so you're like seeing it at like a different angle all the time.
Yeah.
You notice like
Yeah.
it was a different angle every time somebody else got possessed because it wasn't always the same one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 too. Most of it was very creative. There were some safe shots, but for the most part, it was more than basic. Which, you know, when you expect every shot, then it's about a 7. But this actually had more creativity behind it. It's not to the level of masterful like the Lighthouse, but
Right.
it's like where you're basically showing
true.
it to a class, where it's like, hey, this is. You can't get better than this, but just know you're going to put a lot of time behind it. It's not to say they didn't put a lot of time behind it, but you could tell that they didn't have forever to think of every shot. It's like, oh, okay, we're just going to do
Right.
the basics here, and then we'll do the real hard stuff here.
Right.
Since that's where people really be locked in. Overall, everything was good. They had some interesting angles, like you said, with the possession. They had some Dutch angles when things were starting to turn around. The topsy-turvy nature of Mia thinking she's watching something else, but she's actually her, I guess, spirit, soul, consciousness outside of herself while she's seeing the spirit possess her body.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting take. It didn't really show the upside down nature of it, but that's okay because a lot of films are starting to do that upside down thing. So I think it would have been
They were
cliche.
trying to stray away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, because you'll start to see it in Smile 2 even, where it shows, oh, she's now being chased. So which will be coming out soon. But yeah, overall, very, very good.
Yeah. What about editing?
I gave it a 10 out
Same.
of 10 just because, I mean, it flowed really good, you know, together.
Pacing was great. That's a big part
Yeah.
of these horror films. Pacing was great. 10 out of 10 for the splicing. Nothing seemed to be out of sorts. Nothing seemed to be like I wanted things to be longer. The editor, whoever did this, was phenomenal.
They were on top of it.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was longer because afterwards I was like, this seemed just very short. I guess I just wanted
Really?
a little more.
Oh,
I felt like
really?
it was right on the money, right where I needed it to be.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I think like if they were to go too long, I don't know what they could have put in that would have added to it.
Mm-hmm. Like, what was that? Oh gosh, it's slasher film. In a Violent Nature, that seemed to go a little longer than it should have. But overall, it was a good take on things. Special effects,
I gave it a 9.
9.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8.
For being the thing, you know, I'm now more solidified than ever after you told me the budget. I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Simply because nothing felt like it was unrealistic. It felt like, yeah, I could see this in a possession, the dark eyes and so forth. They didn't use a full black eye. It was just that the color of
Yeah.
their eye would disappear.
Yeah.
I thought that was
thought that was
good.
cool.
It didn't feel cliched in that manner. The dead bodies felt like they were dead. The bluish on the lips and everything felt like they were bluish because they were being possessed.
And not, bluish because they had just been revived and they keep talking.
Yeah,
Their lips
yeah,
are still
and they're
blue.
still blue.
Bella.
It made no sense.
Bella Swan. We see you. No, I thought it was a 9 because I really liked a lot of it. I know that for the special effects for the one scene, where he's bashing his face in, and specifically where he claws out his eyeball.
God.
First of all, I've seen this movie, 4 times, and every single time I cannot physically bring myself to
cannot
watch
watch
that
that.
without cringing. But they had all of it was actual, like no CGI there. It was physical
You took his eye out?
Yeah.
No.
He did. He's blind
No,
now.
yeah.
At the ripe age of 17, he is blind in one
Is
eye.
that
Well,
sitting there
maybe he
worth
already
it?
was blind.
Oh
in
my
one
God,
eye.
he's the one-eyed sailor.
Oh, dude, you know what'd be kind of crazy though? If they did get a 17-year-old with a glass eye because he was born that way, and then
He just took it out.
Yeah.
That was wild. That'd be wild. But no, they had like a
prosthesis or
whatever,
something.
prop, and every single time I cannot watch it. But I did dock it down one because I feel like the possession makeup was pretty much the same every time, and I kind of wish, like, with the ghosts looking so different, it would have been cool if they would switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, because a few of the spirits did, like the one in the bedroom, not her mother, but the one in the bedroom sucking the toe, kind of looked like a few of the ones that she was talking to before.
I can't tell if that was the water lady or not.
I
Because
think
she was wet.
yeah.
But then again, if you remember
Gurgle.
at one point, the mom, when she was talking to the mom ghost,
She
the
was
mom
wet.
started being wet.
That's
so I
what I
wonder
mean,
if all the
like-
ghosts were just wet because that was the main one that was
Right.
shape-shifting.
it was the same one trying to like barge its way in because
Right.
that like hence the gurgling all the time.
Right.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
overall, what do you give it?
8.5,
Overall, I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 9 as well.
because that's what it added up to.
See, I always round up. Or I guess I round in general.
I mean,
Just the nearest whole. So that I'm not over here like 0.25.
I mean, technically it's a 9.5, but I was just like, it feels like a 9.
It
Feels
does.
like-
It feels like a 9.
Yeah.
But I would keep it. I mean, this is like my 4th time watching it.
I would keep
I
it,
enjoyed it.
and I feel like every time that you would watch it, you like just pick up on some other things that go on in there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say keep it if you're Gen Z, but anyone else, it might be a stream. So I overall went for a stream on this one because if you do really like it and it relates to you, then please, go ahead, keep it. Buy the 4K version. It's out there. But I think overall, it's like everybody should give it a try, check it out. I don't know if it's for everybody though, because it's so iconic for this generation that I don't want to say.
Definitely is.
Yeah, like I know we would keep it, all of us, but I mean, for me to recommend it to everybody else, I'd say stream it and then decide from there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one you don't want to miss, but don't.
I mean,
I
you should
wouldn't
watch
go
it more
over-
than once.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
I think you'll find more and more, especially me.
Yeah, right? Missed the whole kangaroo thing.
Where was the kangaroo?
Where
Well, I
was
saw
the
him
hell,
dead on the
kangaroo?
street, but beyond
Stab
that,
him in the head.
Well, like and then
Yeah.
just
When did that happen?
like the mirrors and
Cool Cat was there.
stuff like that too. Like if you notice, there was background stuff as well going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and there's always a couple of different things, like certain ghosts that she talks to that make a reappearance, like the dude in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like a quick shot, but like the one that was sitting up in the hospital was like a dead dude that she had seen earlier, and yeah, there's like fun little whatevers in the background. Not as cool as like Hill House background, whatever. But,
Oh my god,
you know.
yeah.
God, I could go on and on about that. I'm gonna rewatch that.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I kind of do want to do that too.
Oh yeah, we got the series on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
now. So
Oh, really?
What? Yeah. Or actually, 4K is it or Blu-ray?
I don't know.
We should
1 and 2.
We should watch it.
It's awesome. Yeah. I guess you're next, Samantha, for the horror picks. So next time we come around, I say horror, but I mean Halloween. So it could be, Halloween,
Cutesy.
or it could be horror.
Halloween.
So we'll be bringing those to you,
Halloween
and
Town.
I think we all agree that you should definitely check out these last 2 films. They're really good. They're from A24. We kind of did
Yeah.
an A24 theme. They've done some really good work. And if you're into anything
Typically do.
horror based, especially slow burns, please check it out. They kind of have a little bit of everything. This is more of a modern horror with the Talk to Me, and then you have a more classic derived, at least it felt like it to me.
Philosophical, like, ugh.
Which just felt very classic, but still like just weird. And a lot of classic films in the black and white era felt very weird, like Cat People. It's just weird and
Weird shit. I love good weird shit.
and especially this one with H.P. Lovecraft influence and some Hitchcockian things, and it's just really cool.
Poe.
So good picks,
Yeah.
good picks. Juliana. Yeah. So
I feel validated.
Yay!
So check out Samantha's picks when we come back the next episode, and
Take a shot.
take a shot. Any final thoughts?
I am just happy it's spooky season. We love a good horror film. I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
Spill your beans.
Why'd you spill the beans?
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and recommend, and to rank us high, like 5 stars. No, we're not doing Halloween 3.
Oh, wow.
It just popped into my head.
That's so wild.
Me and Joe Bob Briggs are on the same page. I don't think either one of us like Halloween 3. It was an experiment with John Carpenter, and we all just went no. He goes Halloween. So Halloween 1, 2, 3 doesn't have Michael Myers at all.
What the fuck?
It does
In a commercial.
What?
We'll have to show you Halloween 3. Well, if you pick it, I can't say no. So there you go.
I don't know if I would want that.
We'll have to show it to you at one point. But anyways, you guys all take care, and thanks for being for our kickoff, and we'll be back with more Halloween picks.
Don't fuck with the seagulls.
No. Do not take out a seabird. Bye.
Bye.